What is up, everybody? We're back to watch The Wire, Season 1, Episode 10, The Cost. We are down a Runna and a Chris, but fret not, my friends. We are here to keep you company, and we're using our phones to communicate, so please don't think that we're on our phones.
And computers.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Marquetta and Pat are remote, and Chris is... Can we tell them he tested positive for coronavirus, unfortunately, so please... Keep the thoughts with him.
Send her some good vibes.
That I probably have it too.
And send her some good vibes.
Yeah, so Marquetta is staying away. I mean, Marquetta, you take it away, whatever you want to say.
mean,
people, stay safe.
You guys need to wash your hands. Wear masks, please. Wear masks everywhere because you can bring it from the grocery store. If someone breathes on the fucking produce, bring it home. You don't wash one fucking celery stick, you're fucked. So please, I'm sorry, I know the fucking should not be happening in the intro, but this is very personal to me right now, so please wear your fucking masks.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a cost to not wearing... Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry. Make it make sense.
Indeed.
But to steer it back to The Wire, again, shouts out to Chris, give him your best vibes.
Love Chris.
But I missed the last two episodes, and they were probably the best episodes of the series so far. My favorite bits were, first of all, seeing Omar wreck shit.
Man.
I feel like we hadn't really seen him really do his, put his name on the line there and, live up to his reputation. So
Yeah, we got to see why the reputation was the reputation. He really went at Barksdale. We saw him just walk up to that house and was just like, yo, I'm right here and kill everybody, or y'all can just give me some drugs. And then he gave the drugs to the other dude.
He went right at the top dog.
The whole other side of town,
it's fucking. That was amazing. I like seeing the basketball game rivalry in the projects, and then I really like the quote. You guys probably talked about it, but they said it twice in both episodes. I think Daniel said it, and then Lester said it, and it was if you follow the drugs, you're gonna get your dealers and your gang members. But if you follow the money, you don't know where the fuck it's gonna take you.
Yep.
And that quote is so good, accurate, and scary because it's the truth. Some politician or person in power is at the top that is benefiting from all this. That's usually untouchable. Yeah. And if you follow it, you're gonna get in trouble if you keep following it. And it's
100%.
It rings true. It rings true today. But anyway, you guys got anything else to say?
No, I'm just really excited. How this is really gonna progress. I really want to see it, I think it was the game day episode or the episode before that. I forget his the Stringer. He was taking those economic classes at nighttime, so obviously he's trying to scale the business. So, but obviously he's the number 2 boss man, not the head honcho. So I wonder in the future if there's going to be a rivalry where he's going to be like, oh, I think I could do this on my own without Avon, and then and take over the game. But I wonder if it's going to lead to that or not.
That is.
I like that because
I feel like that's going to happen for sure.
He seems smarter than Barksdale.
Yeah.
Stringer.
Yeah. I feel
even though Barksdale still followed the rules and he was like, we got rules to follow. But.
Yeah, but I feel like Barksdale is too old school for his own good. You know what I mean? And Stringer is kind of able to grow with the time.
Yeah. Stringer was trying to tell him hey man, it's time to cut our losses real quick. Basically, I feel like trying to lead him in the path of we'll put our money elsewhere, we'll grow it that way, and then we'll get back to drugs later if we need to. But he was like, nah, man, we got to make sure they know who we are. It's
take it easy. And you can tell them that the people working at the drug front, what, you think we have a fucking inelastic product here? What do you say? We got inelastic product. I was like, I remember learning about this in marketing. Right. This is cool.
Dee's girlfriend. They took her to see the dead body, basically.
They took her through the ringer. They worked her so good. She flipped faster than a fucking stack of what was it? What was it? Stack of pancakes, whatever you kept saying. Never mind. Valentine's Day skit. All right, guys, this is not a market substitute for The Wire. Please support the official release. Check us out on Patreon. You can get way ahead and watch the uncuts. Doing so helps support us as a channel. We get to watch more shows with you that you love. I hope you're enjoying this conversation. We're gonna tighten up the chitter chatter. There's less people now, so some of you might enjoy that. And like this video, subscribe, and comment because that's the best thing you can do for free.
For free.
That is what it is.
God damn it, it's beautiful.
Carver? Oh, never mind.
Oh, Bugs with a button down on.
Looking sharp. Looking at the Bubbles himself.
Bubbles, all right.
Bubbles is looking at the...
Bubs is one of my favorite characters.
Same.
I root for him and I want him to do good.
Yeah, I want him to do good too. He's trying, but he needs to try hard.
He looks like he's trying pretty hard right now.
Yeah, like he then look like he's about to go for a job interview. Like,
What's up, Bugs?
hey.
Was that Snoop Dogg?
Nope, and you're a racist.
Absolutely looked nothing like Snoop Dogg.
But them police, though, they was on your ass after the game. See, if they on you, then they got a name. If they got a name, then they know you ain't got no license. Yeah, but they don't want no traffic charges, you know what I'm saying? They don't want no humble shit. I think they was trying to see where I might go. Where the fuck was gonna take their asses? I was taking them to the barbershop. For real, I was gonna get a haircut. Get a fade? These motherfuckers are honest. You always been honest. We just gotta be careful.
Nah, bro, they like on you.
Right.
You not been touching any drugs, and from now on, you are not doing the money runs. Me and Bacon, we gonna take care of that shit until this whole thing cool off. Let me get that pager. Oh, what's up? You serious? I'm gonna get you a New York supply number only. And these motherfucking local cats wanna talk to you, they gotta talk to me.
The New York supply, huh? That's where it's coming from.
Man, I like this. This is dope.
I like, they got a hierarchy of business, probably even better than the fucking cops and the politicians.
Exactly. And they follow the rules. They follow, like, they know it's perfect.
Quicker you can, the better for everybody, yourself included.
A couple of weeks ago, when Burrell wanted to take down the wire, you the one breaking off in his ass.
Jimmy, there's a lady here.
Robert talks more trash than both of us, Your Honor.
I have never been anything other than ladylike, Your Honor.
I like Rhonda too.
Yeah, she's hilarious. She just does her own thing.
What's with him?
You haven't heard? What's wrong with the picture?
I don't know.
Phelan isn't in it.
Oh.
I thought judges have 15-year terms.
They do, but Phelan was named to finish Halpern's term, which only had 2 years left, so he has to run on his own in the primary.
When he's not on the ticket?
Maybe it's the company he keeps.
It's so trash.
Man, that sucks. Man, you gotta pay.
Oh my
That's some
gosh.
duty shit, like politics,
This
like
guy's
that.
going to ruin everyone.
McNulty's just trying to do good, y'all.
Lester was checking the logs a couple of weeks ago when he picked up the pattern. Every time they get down to the ends on a package, somebody in the tower hits that pager number. And then within a half hour, every fucking time, the call comes back to the tower payphone from that number in Pimlico. You see it now?
Learn, motherfuckers, learn.
So what do you do with this?
What do we do?
We're gonna be sitting on that payphone in Pimlico all day and all night waiting on Mr. Mondelmark.
Herc, too.
Herc's out this whole week, in-service training.
That's too bad. So instead of 3 8-hour shifts, you two are gonna have to pull 12 hours.
Just fucking kill me now.
Everyone on the wire keeps talking about how this kid's all tore up about the dead stick-up boy. I'm gonna see for myself.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they get.
Damn, they know the boy?
Yeah. Remember, old dude was listening to like the sex worker on the phone, and then he started talking about how old dude was fucked up.
Yeah, they were listening for like 60 minutes of like this fucking phone
But
sex.
they just beating
And then I'm
all
like,
the payphones.
yeah, I think Wallace is hitting him too hard. I was like, all right, that's relevant.
This guy.
This dude's hair cracks me the fuck
I don't think
up.
he's gonna live very long.
Are you for real, re-upping, bro? Are you trying to start something? Well, he's gonna die. He was told not to do this.
So what you got going for you?
I got nothing left. Bumped it away.
The sister.
So let's stay in the basement.
At least you got your health.
Here's the hell.
I got the bug.
The HIV?
Asking forgiveness?
What's she say? What she needed to say. Forgiveness from other folks is good, but it ain't nothing but words coming at you from outside. You want to kick this shit? You gotta forgive your own self.
Word.
True words.
That is so cool.
Park our asses outside this shithole and wait for some little project yo to raise up?
This is McNulty, raised no fools. 4 Fable's crab cakes in the bag. 24 Dutch beers.
He changed up real quick.
And what's the deal with the yo boy? What'd he do?
Stumble into my world.
Is this guy drinking beer on duty?
Yep.
Absolutely, yes. That's exactly what
Yep.
happened.
Did I see
McNulty
that
just
right?
gave him a fucking case to do the job.
Yep, give him a case of beer while they stake out.
Chill there.
That's some duty shit.
Remember the last cop that got some beer was chilling around the towers.
McNulty's smart. Mrs. McNulty didn't raise no food.
Remember when we last talked?
We told you to
You want to
stop.
lay back, let us work our case?
I said I'd do what I can. Look, I don't know, man, but right now I need some assistance from y'all.
Oh. Yeah, the vet can't take care of that. Only do so much.
Yo, son, if I go to the ER and work it back to A1, you know we gonna have his henchman laying in the parking lot for me. I know you're friendly with a couple of doctors, right?
Bro, this dude had a bullet wound since last night. Yeah, gee.
I mean, what were his options though?
Yeah.
That is also true.
Oh, was it undercover?
Orlando,
you're fucked.
He says he can buy weight. Says he runs with some decent sized locals.
Like who?
Avon or something.
Oh,
wow. Shit. They caught a lucky break. I thought
Wow.
the motherfucker Orlando was gonna get got by like Stringer or somebody, but they were cops.
Orlando over here, man. He should have stayed in his lane.
Kid gave us a murder. More than that, he's put in Stringer Bell. Picks out Weebay Bird and stink him from photo arrays. Puts them all up at the Greek
Shit,
to make
Wallace
they grab up
too?
Omar's boy Brandon. Jeez, what do you have over here? Not a fucking thing. Kid was ready. Barely had to push him. When they killed the stick-up boy, the motherfuckers dumped the body in the alley right by where this kid and all the other low-rise hoppers lay their heads. That's all he can think about.
I have a bad feeling that little Jordan is gonna die. They're gonna kill him.
No, he's a baby Killmonger. You can't do that.
If they take him out of custody, yeah. But like, if they hold him, it'll be alright.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Yep, an informant for a Stringer. Barksdale.
What do you see?
No pattern, really, except this cluster of old storefronts and warehouses on the west side of downtown. 3 different holding companies.
Detective Prez, you have a gift for the paper trail. Tomorrow calls for some street work, though. Are you street ready?
I don't have my gun until the grand jury.
You won't need one.
On the street, no gun.
After this.
Furthermore, Mr. McNulty, having utilized his sons in an act of police work involving a criminal suspect,
Yeah. There she is. That's Mrs. That's Ms.
McNulty.
Ms. McNulty.
Miss McNulty.
Ms. Perlman, you have a response you'd like to offer up here?
Nope.
What the fuck?
If this were possession with intent, I'd be a prosecutor with a plan, but a domestic order hearing? Your Honor, I'm officially clueless. In fact, as an employee of the state, I should not actually be here.
Wow, what an argument. What the fuck?
Is Mr. McNulty capable of having a civil conversation with Mrs. McNulty?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is Mrs. McNulty equally capable of having a conversation with Mr. McNulty?
Yes.
Good. Then I'm going to lunch. And let's see when I return if we can't busy this court with something just a little more engaging than the problems of the McNultys.
McNulty's lawyer chick that he fucks also. She played that perfectly.
I want my bail paid. You send me a bondsman, I'll sign. Is that what you want me to tell him?
Oh, better fat Saul has some balls on him too.
You wanted to be in the game, right? Now you're in the game.
Doing fine.
Unbelievable. You show up with her?
Elena, you went for an emergency ex parte. I grabbed whatever lawyer was standing around.
Oh, she was standing. You can't have Sean and Michael around criminals. You can't lose them in a Baltimore market. That's why.
He wasn't a criminal. I know the guy.
No.
It was daylight on a crowded street. They
No.
were following out. Look, Elena, these are my sons. I love them. Do you hear? I love them. I'm not gonna let them get hurt.
He was playing with fire though, having to follow Stringer around.
Does she know about the detective and the pictures?
No, why would I tell her about that?
And are the two of you still,
No.
Besides like one time, like a couple weeks ago.
Right.
But then no.
Like twice a month.
Yeah.
Yes. A little.
Yeah, twice a month.
Alright, being honest.
Hey man, she a good ex-wife.
Yeah, I mean, she had solid reasoning for calling that shit in. Like,
Yeah.
you really shouldn't do that shit.
Yo, this nigga coming on what, man?
Said he would if I guaranteed a parlay, and I'm here on it. Of course, he said y'all would be paying my fee rather than his own self.
Your fee?
I'm doing like one of the marriage counselors. Charged by the hour to tell some fool he need to bring some flowers.
I fuck with him so far,
I
man.
was telling the bitch she ought to suck some cock every little once in a while. Keep the marriage strong like that.
It's all the marriage advice you need right there. Oh shit, here we go.
We met.
My man say, tell that motherfucker that if he can find a way not to dip in our pockets,
He said
we gonna call this
cocksucker,
shit
not
even.
So you think after what you did to Brandon, we supposed to find some even on this, huh?
I don't know shit about shit.
Look here, son, you tell Barksdale that he's been paid back for what he did to my peoples. As for his product, well, man's gotta earn a living, you know?
I don't know what he called Barksdale.
Tell him throw me some cash then, 5 or 10,000. You know what I mean, for my retirement, Holmes.
They didn't really get anything from that combo though.
How careful is Stringer Bell?
I don't know no one named Barksdale.
Smart.
Still, we got him tied to the Brandon killing.
I really do think Stringer one day is gonna take over this organization. The dude's just
He's very
up on
smart.
his game.
Man. Like he's not mentioning anything incriminating, except they got that Brandon murder on him though. I forget how they have him linked to that. Was it the payphones? Whatever. I think it's not gonna hold.
I mean, the fact that he showed up for this, like.
Wallace.
He admitted
Wallace.
during
That's
this very meeting that they were involved in that.
Yeah,
murder.
that's right. Wallace has him pinned there too.
You sure, right?
He trying to go in my pockets again? This nigga talking about 5 G's, dude. Oh, shit.
Mad as fuck.
I mean, that's not too steep a price to pay for him to stop fucking with your shit.
Thank you, man. I mean, you've been good in your services. I appreciate it. Keep them tips. I hope you're making them, baby.
Hope there's not a camera outside. Get out of there! Uh-oh. Bitch. Kima's gals?
How did you know you wanted to be a cop? I remember when I was in the Northeast, still training as a cadet. I didn't know if I was going to stick with it or not. I chase this purse snatch up into these apartments. I find the guy. So I catch him and I hold on to him and I manage to get to my radio. Jolly fucking smooth. Yo, this guy's a legend. He looks down at me and he smiles, you know, real quiet like. And he drops his cuffs. He says, here you go, Rook. That's all this is. And then he dropped the bracelets and walked away. I mean, I know you don't like it. Shit. I was proud.
Uh-oh.
Bureau of Solid Waste, it says.
Bro, to me, they look so suspicious. If I saw them out there, like, that's sus as fuck.
How do we not with all this PC? We're on the main stash, right? Why don't we kick the door in when all we have to do is park a van down the street, follow the entire West Side drug supply in and out of the place?
We're gonna start picking up pieces of Barksdale's world we never even knew about.
Nice. They're starting to crack this shit open, y'all. It's exciting.
They keep that back room locked, and even if I do get back there, then they kind of shut down. They get real quiet.
There's like way too many holes for them to plug. Barksdale's going down.
Yeah, Barksdale's going down. They got coming people from all sides, man.
Got me coming across town in the middle of a fucked up work day just so you can hold 10. That shit ain't right.
Hold on, I don't need 10. I had some bed, some sheets, some clothes. I definitely need some new clothes.
How long you been clean?
3 days.
Go ahead, Bubs. Skin already looking better.
He does. He's got a glow about him now. He wears long sleeve shirts and short sleeve shirts.
The buttons, they always got
Did
the
you think
buttons.
about that? All right, I'm on it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Hey, what the fuck? Give me some love.
Aww.
I gotta be somewhere tonight, so hit me on the page tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
One more day, bro.
Go back to your sisters.
Bub's not gonna make it to tomorrow.
Kima's the shit.
Yeah, she's dope. But I just don't feel like Buzz gonna make it tomorrow. They made that a big deal about that.
These people do not touch the drugs. They don't go near the drugs. The wire is what gives us Barksdale. It gives us the whole crew.
Come on.
Bye, bus lieutenant.
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? Shrugs. That's it.
I guess Iman's gonna get away.
It's so annoying, dude. It's so annoying.
You don't believe in the truth? That's why I asked for that money. Now, if he'd have said, man, we ain't paying you, just be happy to live, I'd have been like, all right, they're keeping it real. When he said, come on down for $5,000, I'm like, man, please.
Oh, he outie.
I'm a little light on traveling money. I'm saying I could go around the block and get myself paid.
But I bet you don't want to clean up that mess.
They already know that he got jacked on a reverse spy, right? Why wouldn't they assume he's snitching?
I need money for a lawyer. That's the story. He got popped. Now he needs to get right back into it to pay the bondsman and the lawyer.
This shit is not gonna work.
No.
That's a loose story.
I'm not feeling good about this.
No, Bubs, get out of the park. That's where the drugs are.
Oh my god! I think I know what's gonna happen.
It's too fucking close.
Come nightfall, all the.
She said she would get him tomorrow. Something's gonna happen to her.
No, something's gonna happen to Bubs.
Him.
Bubs gone.
No.
The critters of the night have come crawling out, and he's going to sniff the crack out.
I'm so scared for Kima now.
Nah, Kima gonna be alright. Although they have been focusing.
She's
they have been
undercover.
focusing on Kima a bit this episode.
Kima's gonna put a high heel before somebody.
Yeah, but like as soon as that scene was over, they moved to Bubs for no reason.
Don't fuck with this cow. I'll be right back with your shit.
Say it now.
Where are we? That sign said Longwood, but I could swear this is Warwick.
Hoppers be turning the signposts to fuck with y'all.
Wow.
I make it we're on the north side of Warwick, in an alley, I don't know shit. Half a block west of Longwood.
Yo, I swear they had GPS by now at this point.
Damn it, Marquetta.
Damn it, Marquetta might be right, y'all.
No, Kima can't. Nah.
How many of them are there?
Fuck, there's the hits.
I don't know where the stash is. They're dragging us all over this.
God, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Something ain't right.
Fucking go, Orlando, you're so trash. They're just gonna rob you with 30K.
Signal 13.
Gunshots.
They don't even know where she's at, dude.
Black hoodie, North side, 2800 block. Nothing.
That informant in the jail that saw Orlando outside. Yeah.
Yo, fucking Orlando be fucking shit up, man.
They knew that this was a dumb decision regardless. They fucking knew Orlando was snitch.
Looking for a green Lincoln Town car with a brown.
This sucks. It's even more anxious because we're seeing it from their perspective.
That was a terrible
Kima's
fucking
dead,
plan.
Yeah, Kima's dead, bro.
No.
She died. She was given the location and then a gunshot. That's it.
Nah, man, maybe it was Kima's gun going off and she was murking boys and she got out of there, but her radio broke.
The door's open. He dead.
Just took your fucking money.
Definitely. Shit, did they grab Kima?
She's in there. She got shot.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
Bro, Kima cannot fucking die, man. They didn't even fucking listen to the fucking cops earlier.
Wow.
No, don't end. Oh
God.
my god.
Fuck.
It ended. What?
I fucking. Oh.
All because they wanted to fucking do a buy and bust. Bullshit ass. Tired ass. Cliche
Hierarchy's
ass
fault. That was a
technique.
hierarchy's fault right there.
Yeah.
That's the cop's fault right there.
He's like, no, we're gonna do a good old fashioned bar bust. It's always
It
works.
always works in this case. They knew fucking Orlando was snitching. You kidding me? You don't think Avon has people on the inside looking at this shit?
And first,
I honestly feel like this was designed to fail. I'm confused why they would even go with this plan.
The whole episode was it was a compliment sandwich. Like, we were like, hey, there's some bad, and then we got Bubs doing good, and now we lost Kima. It's like, what? Who peed in my cereal?
We didn't lose Kima. Stop. We did not lose Kima. He was giving her CPR. He was giving her CPR. Stop. Stop. We did not see her dead.
She had some development. We got to see her drinking with her friends.
Yeah,
we heard the story about why she became a cop.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
it would make sense. They wouldn't have let like some chick that he brought. If they knew he was snitching, they knew she was a cop. You know what I mean? Especially where she's like, yeah, can we stop by since we're passing by North Warwick? Can we get some cigarette? Y'all couldn't even buy some GPS for the motherfuckers.
And first off, like my biggest thing is like this was like the cop. I know this was so fucked up from the hierarchy, and they did it. And the cops who were like running the show didn't want to do it, but they got stuck into doing the show. They got stuck into doing that. At that point, when you got stuck into like, let's pull up all the stuff and make sure we cover all the bases. Like they had the choppers. Why wasn't choppers like following them? Like at all times. Like they could have put something with they're tracking phones. Why can you not get someone a phone tracker? Like they could have done a lot more things. It's just frustrating. Like they knew that this was a horrible situation to get put into, but they made it worse by not actually like going all at it. Like I mean, you really can't blame them, but I mean, who can you blame? Because like they could have done a lot more. The helicopter could have been found in the car. They could have done some kind of tracking device, like Suraj said. But yeah, it's really frustrating to see Kima die because she was like one of my freaking favorite characters in the show.
So it hurt. Like I'm still trying to, take it in.
This is so much different than your average cop show that like every episode we see the case, we see the bust, and there's a victory or some development. This is like has been season long, so them getting closer and closer, the walls closing in on Avon more and more has been so satisfying to see in this episode, especially because we see all these holes, all these cracks now showing up in their business. But like they cashed their chips in too early. They went all in on this stupid bust, and
it's because what's his name, Burr, the deputy.
Yeah.
He was pushing them to like end it. So they had to like play all their cards, but this was a terrible plan. Like the entire organization knew that Orlando was not to be trusted. I mean,
As soon as you got caught, like you already.
I don't
behind
understand,
your
bro.
boss's
This was
back to
stupid.
find drugs, like. No one trusts Orlando. He's supposed to stay clean, and now he's out here not doing the only thing.
And now the cause and effect of like what Bubs is gonna have to go through now because Kima is not gonna be there to help him out. Like all that trickles down.
So that's technically lost 2 CIs. They're probably gonna lose Bubs as a CI. They lost Omar as a CI essentially for a while. So it's crazy. Like in the towards the end of the episode, I was saying, "Oh man, everything's closing in on Avon. Like they're coming in from all different sides." But all it just takes one fuck up situation from the hierarchy, and all that's gone. Like Avon is back in the clear now because the two CIs that they were worried about, they're gone. The only other CI they got to worry about is that one chick from Orlando's house where she was fucking D.
Yeah.
But that's the only girl you got to worry. Like that's the only CI you got to worry about right now.
Do you think that girl, the girl that Lester's talking to, and D's old fling, but she had her ear pressed up against the door. Do you think if she would have stuck out a little longer, she would have heard about the Orlando hit? Like I don't know, they might have been discussing that. I mean, what other topics would have been on the table if it was about to go down? And the way they played it sucks because like you yourself felt as helpless as McNulty, Carver, and all of them because they're just listening to like where the fuck is she, and then like you hear her say like code 13 or whatever, and then the gunshot. And when Carver kicked that trash can over, I felt that anger.
Definitely.
Yeah, I felt it too, bro. Like she was my fucking favorite character, bro. And they just decided to like go in the worst situation to like take her out.
Not what?
Mark, she dead as fuck.
Dead as fuck, cuz.
No. Low key, I blame Marquetta for her death. She put those bad jujus out there. I thought Buzz would have died.
It wouldn't have happened that way.
Yeah,
you blame
Marquetta.
You said it. Therefore, the piece of media changed. That's been
It wasn't like that before.
Okay, cool. My bad.
We see Michael B. Jordan getting somewhere though. He gets to hear crickets for the first time, which is something that you don't really think about.
Yeah.
Where they were living, there's not a lot of even bugs.
Like nature. There's not a lot of nature.
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't know where he's going though.
I like that. I like that Daniels has taken a sort of fatherly role to let him ride in his car, being in on the interrogation room. Yeah. So I just didn't know if you're gonna fucking yak in my car, bro.
Right.
But that's nice. That's nice because they wouldn't give him a hotel, right? So now he's just staying with Daniels. Essentially,
it looks like family because he said he was
his
living
grandma.
with 9. Okay.
Yeah, that's.
I hope that goes good.
That sucks, man. It's hard to talk about anything else other than Kima, but let's see what else happens.
Yeah, I know, bro. That's the thing. Oh, they did a parlay deal with Stringer and Omar.
That was cool.
I like that. I wonder if that actually goes down like that in real life, like people meeting up and be like, "Hey, here's a middle party that is kind of overseeing this to go peacefully." Even though he fucked off right when they met up, but
he was in the area though, and there was the whole we met when I saw you guys. You guys both agreed to be on peaceful terms. If something fucked up after that, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Y'all figure this shit out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a coney dog.
Yeah, we're in a public mall. Y'all try to do anything here. There's like 100 people around us.
Right. I'm a witness. Y'all are here. It was peaceful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said, "You steal my shit, I'm gonna kill you." Yeah, I like how real Omar is too. He said, "Hey man, I'm light on traveling money. Like I could really just go around the corner and get some." Like,
if y'all don't want to do paperwork, you just give me what's in your pocket right now.
So is
Omar, everybody in this bitch.
Is Omar like out now? Is this the
maybe
end of Omar
maybe that's the last?
No idea.
I think that's the last we see him this season. He's got to be back.
But say 5 seasons, he has to come back and fuck shit up.
I think he's just gonna go stay low for a while, maybe get a crew, trying to re-up,
He's gonna build up in New York and be the shit.
Yeah, I think by end of the wire, I think the two key players are probably gonna be Omar and Stringer, and they're both gonna go against each other. I strongly think like Stringer's gonna take over the operations eventually.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Still very chess-like the show. Like
I love.
Sucks bringing up Kima, but now we're losing pieces. Like it's getting
honestly,
in the middle game. We're almost at the end here.
Back to Omar, I would not be surprised if this was meant to be the end of his character, but they brought him back because he's doing such a good job at it. You know, like he's so entertaining to watch.
For real, he's so honest. It's the key part about shit.
He's so
like,
charismatic
I'll kill
too.
everybody in this bitch, but I don't have to.
Yeah, we saw briefly D just hating his life. For this cold orange juice to my head. And,
that was so funny.
I've done that before,
honestly,
bro.
though, I mean, he has access to almost an infinite amount of money because he's in the family. So I don't understand why he wouldn't give more money to his baby mama.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So that was his baby mama. We're sure about that because she did say that was his kid, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was he was staying with his sister, or if that was his baby mama. Because I forgot that he.
No, they were.
If that was.
Weren't they at the
great
party?
Writing, but if not, she did that. Like the nagging was perfect.
I don't think his sister would nag him like that. But also, I remember they were at the party at a super early, the first or second episode. I remember her face, and she was holding the baby. They all came together to this common area. They were Barksdale was cooking, and they were holding the baby for a bit. So I do think that they are a family unit.
That was the McNulty's hearing also was interesting. The judge was like, "You seriously brought this domestic shit that could be solved with a conversation in my courtroom. However, I do agree that shouldn't there be some punishment for having your kids follow around a known associated drug organization? That's a little sus, McNulty. I don't know."
But then he did say he fixed it up and was just like, "No, I know the guy. It's a game we play. No, man, you should be."
And he loves the kids, and he loves her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, even though he brought the woman he cheated on her with.
Yeah, no, him and his dick rode separately.
I feel like actions here speak louder than words, so I don't buy it from McNulty.
No, I don't buy it from
He was also honest with her about that, though. She was like, "Are you guys still fucking?" And he, he reverted to old ways, but he fixed it, and he was like, "Nah, yeah, we are." Every once in a while.
Also, McNulty, you fucked up because your wife.
She fine. She fine.
She's nice.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, you had a good life going. Oh, there was also a conversation.
Kima looked really nice too before she got whacked. Anyway, go on.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say the other thing the scene that I really enjoyed was the conversation between Barksdale and Stringer when they were talking to each other in the bar when they're alone. In the last, I think it was the last episode, we kind of figured out Barksdale didn't want to stay low and didn't want to take Stringer's advice, but to see him come around and play off, to see both of them play off each other, even though Stringer is the second man or whatever, but for them to play off each other and treat each other as equals is kind of dope to see that in an organization like that and in a drug organization like that.
I think the difference between the hierarchy between basically the drug kingpin, or if you will, and then the police is the respect, because he honestly respects him enough to listen to what he's gonna say about it. He's just like, "Yo, give me your fucking pager." It's the drunk friend that wants to drive home. You know what I mean? He was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna give me your shit. It's cool, I got you." There's so much love in their relationship there. That shit was cool.
And when you compare that to technically but Avon is Stringer's superior.
Yeah.
And when you compare that to Daniels trying to explain a single fucking thing to their superiors, they're like, nope. And then like, it's like you see the similarities between both. Like the police themselves are kind of like a gang, where like the organization is kind of their drug organization is a more efficient unit. Like it's a fun comparison to see, and it's like strikingly similar.
I think it's literally because of the respect thing. Like the
one more
superiors
thing,
and the cops don't. Go ahead.
One more thing that I really enjoyed was the conversation between Bubs and the guy from the support group. I forgot his name. When he mentioned that he had HIV, and then they were just talking about life. That to me, and like when he just told him that he needs to like. Forgiveness from other people is okay, but first you need to like forgive yourself, and be like nice to yourself. That was very powerful.
Solid advice. He even said like, she said whatever she had to say for her. But at the point, like don't rely on like other people. Other people may never forgive you for whatever fucked up shit you may have done. So you can't rely on them to like hold you accountable for your forgiveness, like you know what I mean, to grant you that forgiveness. You have to grant it to yourself, and then just make changes. And then the hard part is life. That was cool. I like that a lot.
That was dope. Like it's easy to kick a habit, it's easy to kick whatever, but the hardest part is life, because like once that life hits you, everything changes, because you could either go back to the old stuff or you could keep growing. So
Por burbujas.
Yeah,
burbujas. That's Bubbles.
Bubbles.
He's gonna relapse, man.
I hope he don't. I'm rooting for the bro. I'm rooting for him, man. I hope he don't.
Want that death row.
He didn't want the death row. I'm hoping he was walking past the drugs.
This was honestly the most frustrating part when they cut from Kima to him just being like it was just like a 1 minute long scene, and he was just sitting on a bench and then he left. And like I knew that immediately, and now I know that he's gonna fall back into the same pattern, and he's gonna get on drugs again, and I'm already sad.
Fuck.
Yeah, I mean his actions have consequences. Fucking bullshit. Cops up top make a decision, and Kima dies. An informant relapses back on crack.
She's not dead. Stop.
Nothing has changed.
I
want to believe she's not dead, but.
No,
I refuse to acknowledge that. No.
Like you think they would have left? You think they would have left anyone alive? Like if they shot her, she was in the back seat of that fucking hoopty. You couldn't even get. There's a 2-door. She couldn't get out. And like they
I think that they were also trying to get in and out super fast. Especially if they were like thinking that she might be a cop. So maybe they didn't check if she was actually dead. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just walked past and dispersed.
The only thing I could see Marquetta's theory working out is like she said, they're fast at shooting. Obviously, Orlando's going to get the most of the bullets because he's in the front seat. Kima's in the back seat, so like the seats could somewhat kind of deter a little as a bulletproof a little bit. But I mean, I don't know, it could probably slow down a little bit.
The series of events I saw was Orlando got shot, then Kima radioed the folks. She was saying like or signal whatever or like code 13 or whatever, and then she got shot like while she was saying something.
Yeah, I think she recognized the who did it.
Ooh, that's a good thing.
She was describing. I don't know. She was saying that they were wearing hoodies and stuff. I don't know if she recognized anyone.
Well, one last thing I will say is Prez Belushi. You're all right in my book. I remember your last name now. I think you're on the up and up.
He's getting there.
Prez Belushi? Yeah, he's a paper trail man. He's a puzzle solver.
He is.
He's like a Mickey.
He did not need to be out
his
in the
name,
field, and they didn't learn that until until too late. But
his name is violently Polish.
It is. It sounds aggressive. Like there's an exclamation point at the end of the last name every time.
All right, y'all. Well, I think we're gonna move on up. We're like 3 episodes away from season 1 being done. Sorry, Chris and Rona couldn't be here. This was a solid episode.
It was a solid
They're gonna miss the next one as well, but they will be back for the last couple of the season.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
Fingers crossed.
Next
I hope
time.
that Chris feels better soon.
Yeah, Chris, send us some good healing vibes for the brother.
Yep.
Spirit bombs, buddy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay, The Wire 1x10, let's talk about it. The quote is, and then he dropped the bracelets, and that was said by Kima, and this was a very Kima episode, and it's very sad at the end what happened, obviously, and we'll get to that. But, the beginning of the episode, Bubbles Gump is sitting on the bench, life is like a box of heroin. But on a more serious note, no, it was a really, really good scene, a really good sequence. Hardly any dialogue is said, but Bubbles is sitting on a bench. It's a very bright, sunny day. Children are playing, women are, walking with their kids and whatnot, and Bubbles is just like taking it all in. The sound design is so good because you can hear all the conversations playing out, and it's just like Bubbles is finally present in the moment. It seems like he's been sober for maybe like a couple days, and so he's finally kind of come back down to earth, and he's like welling up inside because he's realizes what he's been missing out on because his mind is always occupied by his addiction. And Andre Royo's acting is just, again, so phenomenal. Like he's able to take the characters' inner thoughts and like portray them physically on his face. So I can never gush enough about Andre Arroyo's acting. It is such a phenomenal performance. But you see him caught between these two worlds because there's a drug deal going behind him, and here's this beautiful day. He's finally kind of coming out of it, and then somebody mentions heroin in the back, and then all of a sudden, he's kind of back to it. And it just shows you that, like, when you think about people getting sober and sobriety, it's not just like a cure. Like, oh, I'm sober now, I'll just never think about that again. It's like, nah, man, once you've experienced something like that, that's going to kind of stick with you, and you have to kind of actively fight against that. So it kind of shows that, there's this new horizon available for Bubbles, but he's going to have to actively fight that trigger that's always going to be looming over his shoulder. So it was just like a really good, powerful sequence, all made all the better by Andre Royo's acting. And let's just talk about his progression through the episode. Where it's confirmed he's staying with his sister. He has a son named Keyshawn, which who would have thought that Bubbles had a kid. Obviously he's not in their life and vice versa. But, he's having a conversation with Waylon, and Waylon is a really awesome character. He seems like a very helpful guy, wants to get people out of the life and get them clean, and he's just keeping it very real with Bubs. He's not sugarcoating it for him at all, and he's like, if you it's going to be hard. If you want to do this, I'll help you, but it's going to be hard. And it's nice to see Bubbles making strides to make that change. He's admitting he's got a problem, and he's asking for help. He went to his sister to get a place to stay. He's talking to Waylon. He even talks to Kima later on in the episode to help out with money. So it's nice to see him admitting and asking for help and going on this journey. And I like to see where this character is going. And next you have Barksdale and Stringer and Weebay talking about what happened the other night with the Omar and just in general with the cops and Daniels on game day making eye contact, and so now they know for sure that the police is after them. As expected, Stringer is aggressively changing up the tactics in everything that they do, and he says we got to build a wall around you. So it's just to further remove him from the operation of everything, and it's just like they're about to make the job a lot harder for the police because they're about to just change up everything. Meanwhile, McNulty is struggling to get an extension for a brand new set of payphones with Judge Phelan, who is getting frustrated and a little impatient because it's election time right now. Judge Phelan was there, so they said judges have 15-year terms, which is crazy, but it makes sense. And Judge Phelan was finishing out someone else's, and so it was like only 2 years, and now there's an election going on, and he's not on the ticket. So it's just, and we even saw Clay Davis pop up on the monitor when Wallace was watching TV, and Clay Davis was speaking for the mayor, I believe. So basically it's just election time, local election time in Baltimore, and this is the time when everybody is like watching their own ass and trying to propel their careers forward. So you really see even Phelan, who's been an ally, he's kind of pushing like, hey, let's get some results here. I need something to show. So allies only last for so long. So that was a cool scene. And I noticed more so in this episode than all the other episodes so far, but they were really playing around with triadic color schemes. primarily red, blue, and yellow. You saw red, blue, and yellow used a lot throughout this episode in multiple scenes. And then you also saw orange, green, and purple used in the parlay scene with Omar and Stringer. And these two sets of colors, they're triadic color schemes. I noticed them really playing around with the color, and the set design is just like really, really good. And I just noticed that more so in this episode than I had before, but I'm going to be paying attention to how they use color. And Lester finds the pattern for the beeper number or the payphone number of the main stash house. And again, it makes sense with Lester's character that he found it. He's the meticulous one, the detail-oriented one. So is Prez Belusky, but in a different way. Like, it could have been either Lester or Prez that found the pattern, and it would have made sense. But I think it makes more sense for Lester to have found it. And I think the key difference between Lester and Prez's character is how they take information, right? Prez shines when you give him a bunch of information and tell him to create something out of it. Like, find something out of it, create a picture out of it. He's more of a problem solver. Whereas Lester will take a set of information and he will kind of read between the lines and really get into the nitty-gritty and find details that others may have missed. So it makes, again, really good, consistent character writing. It makes sense for Lester to have found the pattern. And Herc is not in this episode at all. Carver says he's out and he's in service training. So it was just a passing sentence, but does that mean that Herc passed the exam and Carver didn't? I'm guessing that's what that means. So we'll see what happens when Herc comes back. And then Orlando gets himself arrested. Orlando is he's such a meme of himself. He's such a gullible, dumb character. I feel like he's not in the game. He's like adjacent to the game. You know what I mean? He runs a front business for the game and he sees a lot of ins and outs and back ends of things. And so I feel like Orlando was like, oh, I think I could do this by myself. I think I've seen enough. I could figure it out. And it's like being next to the game and being in the game are two completely different things. And Orlando definitely overestimated himself. He's just a very dumb, gullible character. And he just made the worst decisions every step of the way. Even when he gets found out that Barksdale is by Barksdale that he was trying to run a side hustle, he still goes and tries to do it. So I wonder if he was strapped for cash, if he owed debts. I can't imagine he had it that bad, you know what I mean? Anyways, he gets himself arrested and loses everything because Levi pays him a visit and he has to fork over the deed to the big strip club because he's not a clean name anymore. He's got a criminal record now, and we can't have that on paper. And what was interesting is Levi said that the transfer deed and all that paperwork, he had backdated and notarized it a week prior to Orlando's arrest. So you can see Levi's mind working here too. As a lawyer, he's covering the paper trail. Because anybody that looks at that or happens to look at that, they'll be like, whoa, that's weird. He got arrested and then he transferred the strip club? Nah, he transferred it before he got arrested, and those two things have nothing to do with each other. You can see him covering the tracks for the future. So that very, very clever on Levi's part. And it looks like they finally have Wallace in custody, and Wallace wastes no time just blabbing about everything. He gives up information pretty openly. He protects D to some degree with some details, but he pretty much gives up everything. He's like, it didn't take long at all for him to start talking. And I think he's just done with it, man. He's a 16-year-old kid. He's just a kid stuck in this life with all this information. Now he's like a key witness in like this whole case. He's like a pretty major witness, and they don't know what to do with him. They don't know where to put him. Earlier in the show, a few episodes ago, Burrell said that there's no money in Baltimore for witness protection. And then in this episode, when they're trying to figure out what to do with Wallace, Daniel says there's no way the deputy will approve manpower to stash a 16-year-old, much less the room service, because they're trying to pitch the idea to put him up in the hotel. So you see that kind of come full circle. Here's this kid that they can't put him in a cell because he's a minor, and they can't put him in juvie because juvie's not secure enough. and they can't put him in a hotel because that, I guess they're not willing to shell out the money for it. And it's just funny that, like, you know, here's the witness that they need for this whole case to kind of come together, and they can't fork over the resources to protect this kid. We'll see what happens. I guess he went to go live with his grandmother for the time being, and it was more of a rural area, and there were crickets chirping, and Wallace is very curious about the crickets. He's like, what's that noise? And just another example of good, consistent character writing. Wallace is this very naturally curious kid, and what a huge scenery change from coming from the city to a rural area. I live in downtown, and I'm just like very used to the city sounds and the trains and the sirens and the pedestrians and just all the noises of the city and city life in general. I've gotten very used to it, and I didn't realize how used to it I had gotten until, like, from my last place to the place I'm living in, and now in between moves, I went and lived with my parents for like a month or two, and they live in a more suburban, rural area, and it's way different, man. It's a way different speed of life. Just everything is very, very different outside of the city. And we come back to the Mondo Mart sting operation, which, by the way, the cops are not very subtle in this episode. Like, that van is very suspicious looking. It's like a very FBI cop looking van, and it was like parked like damn near next to the payphone, and it was just... It just kind of made me laugh because it wasn't subtle at all. You know, it worked. And Sidner was able to follow the guy back to the trap house. You know, Prez was hot on the trail, the paper trail of Avon's businesses. And again, so example of Prez taking a bunch of information and then creating something out of it. And they also went back and collected the trash from the trap house, and they got a bunch of different evidence that way. They have the location, and I think they're just going to sit on it until they have like the moment to strike. And then we have the McNulty and wife scene, which was kind of funny and sad at the same time to watch. I'm kind of on the wife's side for this one. I think she had every reason. I don't know what an ex parte order is, if you know. Let me know in the comments. But I kind of side with the wife here because I think she has every right to, because McNulty definitely put them in danger. And he's like, I would never lose the kids, but you lost the kids. I would never put them in danger, but you put them in danger. That guy wasn't a drug dealer. He kind of was, dude. So... So McNulty just still justifying his own actions. Here's the thing with McNulty in that scene. He was honest. He almost wasn't when he lied about Rhonda, but then he chose to be honest. So I'll give McNulty this. He was honest in that scene, but he was very emotionally manipulative with like, I love you, I still love you, you know, I love the kids. Which I'm not saying he's lying. It's true, but it's very manipulative to use that and not admit your own faults also. You know what I mean? Like, had he looked inward and been like, yeah, I fucked up, that was definitely a mistake, please give me another chance. That's different than being like, no, I would never, you know, they weren't in any danger, I was on top of it, I love you. There's a difference there. So he was honest, but he was very manipulative in that scene, and I think McNulty just needs to come to some hard truths about himself or reprioritize his life, as I've said before, if he really wants to be in the kids' lives like that. But right now it ain't, it's not a good look. And then we got the parlay scene, and this was the scene where, you know, there were a lot of orange and purple and green colors used, another triadic color scheme, and Prop Joe coming in wearing black and white, if I remember correctly, so he was kind of the neutral party. Oh, that's actually cool. So he was neutral, wearing neutral colors, he's the neutral party. And it was a really cool scene. It was a very tense scene, because you have, you know, Omar and Stringer talking back and forth, and they're having a conversation, but there's a hidden conversation in between the lines, and they're really just kind of testing each other. It was a very, very, very cool scene. And Prop Joe plays it really smooth, too, when Omar comes up and he's like, I don't believe we've ever met before. Don't fuck with me or I'll fucking kill you. Again, when the conversation is done, Omar walks down the street and gets into a car, which I feel like was parked very close to where the conversation just ended. Like, it was definitely in Stringer's eye line still. You know, I'm sure Stringer walked away, but what if he didn't? Like, and he just saw Omar get into this, like, very police looking vehicle, I would be like, okay, that's kind of weird. So again, I don't know. I know I'm reading too much into it, and it was just like for framing purposes, but it's just like the cops were parked very like not like stealthy at all. The size of the radio Omar was wearing, what if that fell out, or what if Stringer tried to pat him down or something, you know what I mean? Anything could have happened. And the tech of the show is obviously dated. This is before iPhones, before smartphones even. I don't even think smartphones will come into play for the whole show. I can't remember if they do or not. Obviously the tech is dated, and you know, now today we have cameras that could like fit inside of a button, and like microphones you could hide anywhere. But it's interesting to see a period of time where they were trying to do, you know, stealthy shit with like tech that was clunky and not stealthy at all. And we have the very wholesome bar scene with Kima and the girls hanging out. And you know, usually in like a cop show there's always a quintessential bar scene, but it's usually with the fellas, you know, it's usually the boys hanging out. This time it was the girls hanging out, and it was dope, and it was awesome. They were just having a good time, and Kima tells her rookie story, which was very meaningful because it just showed like Kima is just, she's a boots on the ground kind of person, you know what I mean? She's not the type of person to be on the sidelines of a case. Like, she's going to be in there. She's going to do whatever is necessary to be in the action and make a difference. And obviously that's where she ended up at the end of the episode, and it didn't work. It finally caught up with her. It just shows her character and who she is as a person and why she does what she does. And it was a really nice, wholesome scene, and it's just very, very sad what ended up happening. And Kima actually had very personal moments with a lot of people this episode, including the cop that arrested Orlando, which I forgot to talk about a point, so I'll talk about that before we get to the end of the episode. The cop that caught Orlando, when he mentioned Avon Barksdale, his superior officer told him to run it through Dex and something called HIDTA, H-I-D-T-A. I don't know what it is, but it seems like infrastructure for different departments to be able to talk with each other, or at least look up names to see if there's any open cases on people of interest. So it seems like there is infrastructure there for departments to be able to talk to each other, because obviously that's how he found them. But it seemed like to me, if the commanding officer hadn't told him to do that, or he didn't think to do that, he could have very well just as well skipped that step. I think that the infrastructure is there for cops to be able to do their jobs effectively and communicate with each other, but I think there just needs to be a little more refinement of it, I guess. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? And so, yeah, before we get to the end of the episode, there was, you know, a whole lot of snitching going on this episode. You know, Omar, Shardine, Orlando, Wallace, all snitching in some capacity. Obviously Orlando was kind of forced into it at the end. His options are limited, and I know he was forced into it, but man, he's really dumb, dude. Like, he's so gullible. The guy was like, yeah, just go ahead and park in this very dark corner away from any public eye, and I'm gonna get out of the car and I'm gonna walk into the darkness, and it's all cool. Don't think too much into it. And Orlando's just like, yep, that makes sense. Sure. Man, it's like sad and kind of funny at the same time. In respect to Orlando, not Kima. That was incredibly sad. But that sequence was so intense. Like, I already knew what was coming, and I was still shook. Like, I had goosebumps. I watched it multiple times, and that sequence is so well done. The Wire is somehow able to cut away from the violence, which is usually like the hype part in any other show, right? Like, we always see the action go down, but instead The Wire cuts away from that and shows you the response to the action. And you saw the intensity of the police and how quickly they responded, and it was just all hands on deck. And obviously they had certain factors working against them. Like Orlando said, hoppers changed the street signs to fuck with the police, and I think that's kind of what ended up happening with at least a few of the cars. Like, they couldn't find her at all. They had to call a chopper in. And you see the intensity of the scene and the emotions welling up in everybody, and there's an officer down, and you saw the response of the police and how intense the response was, because it's one of their own. And I think what happened was incredibly unexpected, and it sucks, and I didn't see it coming. when I first watched it, and it still shook me. This is gonna warrant a response from the police. When a police officer goes down, that's when everybody really bands together, and department and ranks have no meaning. It's just, let's get the people that did this, because that's a big deal. Like, criminals have a fine line, you know, it's like, we're gonna sell drugs and make money, but you don't go kill police officers. You don't go fuck with the police like that, because they will come at you way stronger, because that's when, like, wiretaps and rules, like, everything goes out the window. They're coming for you by any means necessary. Criminals know not to go past that line, and obviously she was undercover, so I don't think they realized who they were shooting. But now that it's happened, this is gonna warrant a very big response, and I'm just very excited to see and just see what's happening with the rest of the season. This has been awesome. That's it. That's all my notes for this episode. I'll see you guys next week. Comment below, share the video, like, and all that stuff, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for watching The Wire with the Normies. Check us out on Patreon for early access and uncut content. Special shout out to our super patrons: Exploring Dylan, Ruby, Aaron, Joe Maggs, Harry Macfan, Mr. Momus, Nick Comfort, Flower House, the NYR Fan, and ZJP. And we will see you all next time.